What is up, Matt Superstars? In this edition of Mr. Peterson Presents, we're going to be talking about histograms. And so in this part of the video, we're talking about what they are and also how to make them. So what are histograms? A histogram, this is a type of bar graph. So we're going to be using bars here, used to display numerical data that has been organized into equal intervals. And so that's going to be the key here as far as how we're going to be making this. What this means, in order to make it, we're going to follow, there's 3 steps we're going to follow. The first step is we're going to draw and label each axis. And so our horizontal axis, so the axis that goes left to right, that's going to be used for our intervals. And our vertical axis is going to be used for frequencies, or how many times that data point in that interval shows up. And the biggest thing is we need to include a title, so make sure you title it so we actually can identify what the data is. In step number 2, you need to plan out your intervals carefully. So it's helpful that you can divide the range. So when we talk about the range, this is the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. So you might want to make a note of that. What the range is, again, is the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. And then you can divide that by the number of intervals you want to have on your chart. And so say if the range, the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number, say that range is 20, and you want to have 4 different intervals, you need to have your intervals spaced out in increments of 5. And so here we have this, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This increment right here has 5 different data points in it. So you can see we have increments of 5 here. And that's going to be very helpful before we start to draw in the bars. And for step 3, what you're going to do is for each interval on the horizontal axis, you're going to draw a bar whose height is given by the frequencies. And so what we're going to do is keep watching the video, because we're going to construct a histogram based on the following steps. And then you'll be able to see how this all works together. So for this example here, we need to choose intervals and construct a histogram to represent the 400-meter dash times shown below. So this race, this is 1 lap around the track, and these are all in seconds. So this is how many seconds somebody can run 1 lap around the track. And so we're already given the intervals. And what we need to do is we're going to put a tally mark where our data points show up. And so the way this works is we have 61 seconds. And we put a tally mark because it's right in this interval range of 60 to 64 seconds. And we can keep doing the same thing for all of our data here. 71 is going to be between 70 and 74. We have 68, 68, 69, 72. So you can see I'm just putting tally marks right now for where the data shows up. 61, 76, getting a little slower. 70, 64, 64, 63. So right now I have 5. There's 5 times that are in between 60 and 64. Oh, we have 82. And there's another 68. Here's 78. 74, so that's 5. We got 80. We got 62 and 75. So right now we just made tally marks, and we're going to figure out how many people run in between each interval. So between the interval 60 to 64, there are 6 people that had those times, somewhere in that interval range. 65 to 69, there are 4 people. 70 to 74, there are 5 people. 75 to 79, there are 3 people. And 80 to 84, there are 2 people. And so that's our frequency, is how many people, in this case, ran in between 60 and 64 seconds. There are 6 people. The cumulative frequency, all this is doing is we're just going to add these up to make sure that we have all of our data. So the first box is 6, and then we do 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. So the cumulative list just helps us to keep track to make sure that we have all of our data points accounted for. So now that we have our data completed, let's go ahead and draw our histogram. And so here we have our title. So I'm going to put my title right up at the top. This is going to be 400 meter times. And so the times is going to be in seconds. Sorry if that's kind of a little bit hard to read. So we're in seconds here. So vertically here, so vertical, these are going to be the number of people. So these are the number of people that ran those times. And across the bottom, so we're going to list out our intervals here. So we have 60 to 64. Actually, use a different pen for that. So we have 60 to 64 is our first section. 65 to 69. 70 to 74. 75 to 79. And 80 to 84. And so once again, vertically is a number of people. And so what we can do is let's go ahead and also label our numbers here. So we're going to start here, right here at this line. This is going to be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's about as far as we need to go. And what we can do is if you're stuck, lost, or confused, you can always pause this video. And that way you can kind of see how I set this up before we start drawing in the bars. So now in order to draw in the bars, 60 to 64 has 6 people. So we're going to draw our line at 6 people, and we're going to go ahead and draw in our bar. And then we can do that same thing for each interval. So 65 to 69, there are 4 people. So we draw a little bar where 4 people are. We'll color that one in. 70 to 74, there are 5 people. So you can see I'm just drawing my bars in here. 75 to 79, there are 3 people. And 80 to 84, there are 2 people. So you can see that our histograms, or this histogram right here with these 400 meter times, it tells us some information. So if we just had this chart right in front of us, we know that there would be 6 people that are in the interval 60 to 64. There are 4 people between 65 and 69. There's 5 people between 70 and 74. There are 3 people between 75 and 79, and only 2 people between 80 and 84. And so histograms are helpful to look at different types of data. So now what your turn is, we got some practice. And so we have a few Accel links that are listed below and also in Google Classroom to be able to help you out to further understand histograms.